Welcome to Her Ink Empire. I'm Justine Almaraz, and this is the podcast that redefines what's possible for you in the tattoo industry and in your tattoo education, not only in technical skills, but in business. This show is for fine artists, creatives, visionaries, artists of all kinds, even doodlers, who are ready to not just build a career, but a legacy. Here we merge mastery, freedom, and creative power to surpass the outdated industry norms, the outdated rules, and step fully into our creative power and roles as leaders in our communities. If you've ever felt like there has to be a better way, a better option to learn tattooing, to earn in this industry, and to lead in tattooing, you're in the right place. So let's build your empire, one bold, daring step at a time. Let's dive in.
Claire, would you do like an introduction of like telling like your specialty in the world, what you do and how you serve people?
So I am a midwife, and I have been a midwife for 13 years now. 13, yeah. And that path actually started when I was in LA. So when I was there, I was a massage therapist, and I specialized in pregnancy and postpartum. And then I also became a doula. So I was with women during birth. So yeah, that is my calling and what I do for work, which is pretty special work.
Mm-hmm. Extraordinarily special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And let's go to like what brought you to reaching out to me? I mean, we hadn't talked in years, and you're interested in a tattoo, which is really cool that you contacted me. So what were you looking for?
Well, this is probably going to be a longer answer because this will go into Tilly. Yeah, so I'm a midwife, and I live in Boston with my 2 kids and my husband. And in the February, well, actually, it was November of 2020. So this is kind of like after the pandemic. My daughter had broke her arm and her right arm in the summer. And the right arm is significant because of what happens later. So we noticed in November, like right around her 2-year birthday, that her right arm was really weak, and you could feel it was atrophied. And so we just assumed it was from the break. We went to do physical therapy, and we found out after the physical therapy didn't work, we got imaging done. And when we did the imaging, we found out that she had a tumor in her spine that was was on the right side more significantly. So it was pressing on the right side of all those nerves. And so she had weakness mostly in her arm, but we found out later a little bit on her right leg too. So she had surgery. She went through chemotherapy. It was 70 weeks of chemotherapy. The tumor grew at a certain point a few months after treatment, which was really scary because she then started to have weakness on her left hand arm. So you just kind of started to spiral into like, where is the weakness going to stop? So really scary.
Mm-hmm.
We finished treatment. It was the most intense experience I've ever had in my life, hands down. And I've had some pretty crazy things happen, but just like the family dynamic of having that intense of a diagnosis. And there were just moments along the journey where there were like things that I kind of bookmarked in the back of my mind. And one of the things I'd seen, like people get, I mean, I have a couple of tattoos, and people definitely seen people get like the ribbon tattoos and whatnot. And that definitely didn't totally resonate with me, the ribbon for cancer or whatnot. And so you and I met in LA a number of years ago. And so I've just kind of followed on Instagram your work, and I just like, there's something, I mean, the spiritual nature of it definitely drew me in. And I just think the beauty, and the word that always comes to mind is kind of ethereal. It's just like, there's something so beautiful about the work that you do. And so we ended up getting into, Tilly did a physical therapy intensive, or we got scheduled to do a physical therapy intensive in LA. I'd kind of like thought that would be fun to be out there. So when I knew we were coming out, I was just like, yes, I need to reach out to Justine because I want her to do a tattoo on my body. And the place that really spoke to me for that tattoo was to get it basically where my daughter's tumor is. So from C to C1, top of the cervical spine down into the top of the thoracic. And my daughter's favorite color, she tells us all the time, is rainbow. So we did all the colors, all the rainbow of colors. I mean, I could keep talking about the process, but that's why I came to you for this work, because it was just so huge. And I really felt drawn to what you did, because it wasn't just like an image, it was like a spiritual experience to create this together.
Yeah, it's probably the most meaningful tattoo I've ever had the honor to do. So thank you, Claire, deeply.
Thank you.
And what's so special is that I'm really emotional right now. You got to bring the girls into our private studio, and
Yeah.
it was really fun. It was like a really light, exciting energy for everyone. And then Tilly came to give you a hug, and you said, "Do you want to show Justine your scar? Because we're going to do this tattoo in the same place on, mommy's neck." And she did. She felt comfortable to show me, and it was so sweet and touching that she felt, comfortable. And that also witnessing your way of mothering and parenting is so unique, in that you're offering her to have space and express her voice in all situations. I noticed, and just being with you too, and that you give her the option to show if you want to. That's
say
not
no.
very common, and that feels like such an empowering thing, because, and this is why I do my work in this way, is that I want to give that voice to my clients to be able to feel comfortable to speak up and tell me if they want something or they don't want something I draw on them, So
Yeah.
it is very special. This whole experience with you was the most meaningful, and gives my work so much purpose.
Well,
Thank you.
I've been thinking a lot about the similarities between, I mean, not our actual work, but the way that we conduct our work. And she doesn't show her scar to everyone. Like, she does say no. So I think she did feel like this was a special space and really comfortable in it. So that was really cool that she showed it to you. But I don't know how much you want to talk about the other tattoo, but I do think that the way that
We can talk about the other one too, if you want.
yeah, no. But just when I'm with my patients, there's, I really like, a big thing in the way that I work with them is like talking through everything, taking our time, talking, we talk risk benefits and all of that stuff, and just like listening and, getting their consent with everything that we're doing. And I feel like that's so huge. That's such a huge part of what you do in your work, because I don't think that's necessarily something that happens across the tattoo community. And so, yeah, it's just really powerful. And if people are coming to you with, some people are just getting decorative tattoos that don't necessarily have, like a strong meaning besides liking to adorn their body. But I think a lot of people that are drawn to your work are doing something spiritual, and so having that open communication and that, consent, and like, is this okay? Do you like that? Like, and this is going on your body. Is this okay? It's just really powerful. And so, yeah, so you redid a tattoo for me. And I feel like it was, as much as I'm like a middle-aged woman, you still have those moments where something happens to you and you're just like, how did it, like, because I basically had a tattoo experience where she didn't do a ton of prep work.
Right.
And then once the stencil had, like, I'm like, okay, that looks good. She put the stencil on, started tattooing, realized that she'd made a mistake, quickly pivoted, and then messed up even in that tattoo. And then was really dismissive about having made a huge mistake on my body, which is so massive, because it's not as if we're
Right.
not human and we make mistakes, but I think being able to own that, even in any kind of interaction that you're having, is so huge. So it was really nice to have that healing experience where we took so much time looking at the new tattoo that we were going to do together, you know, on my underside or right here on next to my heart, and just being like, does this look good? Do you like this? Does this like speak to you and, you know, make you feel something, which was kind of what I wanted that tattoo to do. Because the other tattoo was also really meaningful. I mean, it may seem silly, but music's a really big part of my life. And so when Tilly's tumor grew, it was almost more devastating than the first diagnosis, because it just opened you up to the possibility of like how much worse this could get and you didn't even know. So there's this Pink song called Cover Me in Sunshine, and she sings it with her daughter, and and it's a really upbeat song about like, tell me that everything's going to be all right, like cover me in sunshine. And I would just listen to it and I would cry because I didn't know what my future was going to be with my kiddos. And so I wanted this tattoo that was really like bright and vivid with pink and yellow, which is pediatric cancer, and gray, which is brain cancer. And that is not what my tattoo looked like. And then I pivoted with you, and it's not those colors, but again, Tilly's favorite colors, rainbows. And it's just this beautiful bursting rainbow sun, which is like also perfection. You know what I mean? It wasn't my original vision, but the fact that we like created that vision together, amazing. So that one is also just like so powerful. So, and the time that you took to do that with me together.
That was really special that you let me do that one too, because I saw it and I'm like, this has a lot of potential to become something you love and not something you feel like you're just associating with that experience. And so much of the tattoo experience becomes part of the meaning of it, you know, like it really gets kind of like encapsulated. The experience of getting a tattoo gets encapsulated in the imagery of it, you know.
Yeah.
So that I love that we got to pour some love into that heart and make it shine again. That was really special. And yeah. How did the girls feel about the tattoos that you got? Because you have like a pretty big one, like visible on your back of your neck now. Sometimes kids have
They,
funny like
I
response.
know. Well, my oldest one's just like, are you going to keep getting tattoos? Because I've gotten a couple other tattoos over this last year. I feel like somehow this has been an avenue for me to just commemorate and not memorialize, but just like mark this like really life-changing event with a bunch of tattoos.
Yeah.
So I think that they both, well, Tilly really likes the one on my neck because it's like, it's our tattoo kind of, you know what I mean? It's, you know, I got that for her, right? So she really likes that. And then Josephine, it was so cute. She saw the heart and she goes, oh my gosh, she goes, that looks so much better. And like her eyes just like lit up because she was like, and then the other night she goes, it just looks like joy and happiness. I was like, yes, that's exactly how I feel. So they're pretty into them. Josephine loved that you still had the her little like 10-year-old cake on the wall still.
Oh yeah, we have that whiteboard in the room.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again. It got cut out.
No, she said she just was stoked that you still had that on the board. She felt pretty honored.
That's cool. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, that was so special. So thank you for sharing that, Claire.
Absolutely.
So what do you want to do next?
Our next tattoo.
Have you been thinking about it already or no? You just said earlier, like there'll be more. I was wondering if you felt it.
I don't know why I've been thinking about like my hip, but like kind of a wrapping like up around. So I don't know. That's another area that's just been like speaking to me.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool fit. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
It fit like kind of matched the style on your neck.
Yeah.
Kind of the lightness. Your body would probably heal nicely with more of the fine line, or it does heal better with the fine line stuff than the intense shading.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? And the two on my back, those are also, I'm not one to like get tattoos on my body that don't mean something pretty significant for me. So like those two were right before I left Los Angeles. So it'd be cool for you to work on them because they both have like a story. So right before I left Los Angeles, or a year before I left Los Angeles, a friend of mine it was a really crazy thing. I worked at a school and the kids would go across the street to do PE or like, physical activity. There was a field. So they were all walking back and my friend Carrie was standing at the back of them, like walking. And there was a bunch of kids. And then the other gym coach was in the front and a car jumped the curb and hit Carrie. And I think she was killed relatively instantly. And then a bunch of the kids were like super injured. And it was just an incredibly traumatic event because Carrie was, I mean, even if Carrie wasn't, it was just like Carrie was this amazing person and she was such a huge like force in the community. And so she had this, I mean, it's Mahatma Gandhi, like we've all heard it, but be the change that you wish to be in the world. But that truly was who Carrie was. Like she just was this amazing, she was a basketball coach and she was just like 6'2" and she just like lit everybody up. And it was just so devastating. She was 24. So I got change tattooed on my back to just like remind myself that like I wanted to be like Carrie was. I wanted to try to be a force of good in the world. And then the other one was joy, because that's something, I don't know, it was just this word that kept coming up. And it was so basically I was like, okay, these two things have my back. Like when I leave and I go off on this like huge adventure together. So it could be really cool to like also, they're old at this point. So like zhuzh them up a little bit, but they also have like deep spiritual meaning as well. So I'm sure you would tap into that.
I love doing that. I love
Yeah.
enhancing existing tattoos. That was like one of my favorite things. So yeah, I'm in. That's cool.
So yeah, so those are my thoughts on other tattoos. We'll see. Yeah. So, and that's the story. But yeah, it was a really beautiful experience getting those tattoos with you. I feel like that trip was so good for my soul and just so like the timing of everything. There's something even crazier. So Josh has a couple of friends that live out in LA. And so he went and was visiting his friend Chris Morocco in Redondo Beach. And Chris's parents, Josh has known them since he was like 8. And Siggy and Guy just like happened to be out visiting. So he got to see them and just hang out. And then we got a phone call last week that Siggy had passed away. And the service was fortunately here because that's where Chris is from. But like Josh, if we hadn't gone, then I don't know the last time he saw Siggy and Guy. So like it was just, I just got like chills because I was like, I'm so grateful that we were out there and you got to like be with them and hang out. And yeah. And she was elderly and like not in great health, but she wasn't like sick with cancer. You know what I mean? Like this was unexpected for her to just like suddenly pass away. So there was just so many things like that in this trip where you're just like, oh, that was such a blessing. So
wow, super in alignment with
yeah,
the divine order of things, huh?
totally. Absolutely. Yeah.
Claire, something cool to talk about too would be, how is Tilly doing now?
So good. Yeah. So we finished treatment in July of, I was like, I have to think about the dates, July of 2022. And because her tumor is literally like inside the spinal column. So it's very thin, but there's not a lot of space to have it grow. So they were like, maybe she'll get like 9 months to a year off treatment. Because as soon as the tumor starts growing, then they usually recommend like going back on chemotherapy. So we were like, okay. We do a lot of alternative supportive stuff. We do craniosacral once a month. She does aquatic therapy. She goes to this amazing chiropractor. She takes mushroom tinctures every night. So we do a lot of stuff to like support her body. So we get MRIs every 3 months, which is wildly intense for a 5-year-old. And she does them. It's amazing. I don't know if you've ever had an MRI, but it's really loud and it's a fairly small space. I got one on my knee and I was like, this is horrible. It's like 20 minutes. It's so loud. So she does them, they're about an hour to an hour and a half because it's her whole brain and spine. She does it without anesthesia. So they have like a movie, you can watch a movie inside of the machine, but it's wild. So she does them every 3 months. And so every 3 months, we've gotten back like it's stable, which is all you can hope for, or all we thought we could hope for. And she continues to get more. So basically, like, she doesn't have total grasp of her hand or like the fine motor, and her arm, she could only kind of lift it about shoulder high. And so we've seen that go, she can almost lift it completely up, which is wild. Like, she's exceeded all the doctor's expectations. I mean, we think it's because of all the like therapeutic stuff and alternative stuff that we're doing as well. So we got an MRI in March of this year, and the tumor had actually shrunk really significantly. So it was from C2 to T8, so almost most of the way down the thoracic spine, so kind of mid back, and it shrunk up to, it now is C3 to T4. And they were just like, yeah, it shrunk, which is huge. So not only does that mean like it's way better than stable, because if it's shrinking, then there has to be, it just means like that she can hopefully be off treatment for like years potentially, which would be amazing because chemo is no joke. So that was just like the most amazing, astounding news that we have gotten in this journey. So that was like, what, a month before we came out to LA? Yeah, it was really good. We were just riding high. And then we got to make all these like amazing memories in LA as a family. It was so fun. So yeah, so she's doing great. I mean, you've met her.
Wow.
She's quite a spirit.
She
Yeah.
is amazing. Incredible.
She's quite a little person. So
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So did really great.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a miracle, huh?
Totally. Yeah. Absolutely.
She looks just like you too. Cool.
She is my mini me with the bangs too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe is too. Joe is too.
Yeah, she has a lot more of Josh. She is definitely like a Danoff, but she has some me in her for sure. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad to
Yeah.
hear that. Wow. Powerful.
Yeah. Do you have anything else that you want to inquire about?
I feel like that kind of like it feels really complete in a story.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you feel?
Mm-mm. No, that's Tilly. That's our journey. That's my journey to get a tattoo with you. Yeah. And it is lovely to watch such an amazing artist just like blossom over the last 25 years, however long it has been that I have known you, not on a day-to-day basis, but just like watching it all happen is also really beautiful. Just want to acknowledge that it's been amazing to watch your art, just like really, because you are incredibly talented. So yeah.
Thank you. That means so much to me. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this and share this deeply inspiring and just the incredible journey that it has been for you, and you share it with so much grace and strength. And I hope that others get to listen to this, and if they are going through anything like this, feel your strength, and that encourages them to continue on and stay hopeful and joyful
Yeah.
and inspired like you have through this journey and are.
Yeah. It is not an easy road, but it is, there can be moments of joy, even in like the most challenging. So yeah.
And witnessing her, is just pure joy. I mean, she's, even though all of this, like she's just naturally joyful.
Oh my God. Yeah. Just a bucket
so
of
fun.
energy. And joy. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Claire, from my heart and soul. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. I'm so grateful that our paths have crossed
Me too.
again.
Me too.
Yeah.
Feels really good. Like synergistic, good timing for our lives to cross for sure.
Absolutely. All right. We'll go
Okay.
get some dinner.
Yes. Have a good evening. Sleep well. And I'll edit this up and I'll send it to you. And would you I was thinking as we were talking, I was thinking it'd be cool to kind of like flash pictures of our
Session,
or maybe
Yeah.
if you want, or of your
Oh,
test
totally.
before and after. So what do you think?
Yeah. Anything,
Yeah.
whatever you want. Yeah, totally.
Cool.
Mhm.
Do you have any other cool pictures like that Lori took or anything?
Yeah.
I think she took some cool ones. I didn't get to see it, so send them over.
Yeah, I will. Because she did take a couple of cool ones. So yeah, I'll send them over for you for
Okay.
sure. I know she was like snapping away in the background. Oh
And I love Lori.
my God. I was like, I was just like, do you want to take a sick day and come get a tattoo with me? Like that wouldn't have happened if she hadn't been there to like watch Tilly. So that
Yeah,
was
huh?
also like amazing. Yeah. Lori's like, of course.
Yeah, that was really fun.
I know.
Really
It was
fun.
awesome. Oh my God. I know. So good. Yeah. So I'll send you over pictures if
Cool.
I have any that you don't have already, but you can share any that you want to.
Okay. Thank
For
you.
sure. My
you.
pleasure. All right.
I love you, Claire. I
You
adore
too.
you. So grateful for you.
Yes, ditto.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll keep, now that everything's healing with the tattoo, I'll send you pictures later, but I'll also just like, we'll keep in touch.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, sounds good. I love
Yeah.
that.
All
Okay.
right. I'll talk to you later.
Thank
Bye, Jess.
you. Bye,
Yes.
Claire.
Thank you so much for listening and being a part of Her Ink Empire. Remember, this is only the beginning. Your empire is already unfolding. Until next time, stay bold, stay aligned, and stay true to you as you build your artistic legacy.